Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I hope you guys find this podcast to be a good background playing audio file track, just podcast for the day of Thanksgiving, the day to give thanks to the ones you love, the ones you care about, the things you love, the things that you care about. It is a day to sit back, relax, say thank you for the life that I have, the life that I'm living, the people that I know, the people that I love, and the things that make me happy. And in honor of Thanksgiving being today, I'm going to talk a little bit about things that I'm thankful for. Because I think that every now and then you have to remember what you are thankful for. And thank God we actually have a holiday to actually put all of our focus into that. You know, some people hear Thanksgiving and they just say Happy Thanksgiving, Happy Thanksgiving. But what do we actually truly take a moment or moments and look at the things that are in our lives and say to ourselves, I'm thankful for this, or I'm thankful for that? Not many. I certainly don't do that all that often. But today I am. Today I will give thanks to the things that I cherish, not only just on Thanksgiving, but in actual day-to-day life. Living on this planet in the year 2022. What I give thanks to. And to go with the theme of the actual Thanksgiving day, number one thing that I will give thanks for is family. Where would you be without your family? Family is so important. It is probably the most important thing in our lives. And what makes us human beings has got to be family. If you think about it. You know, if you're lucky enough, you have a mother and a father, grandma, grandpa, on both sides of your parentage, you know, and, you get together on Thanksgiving and all give thanks, you know, and have fun and love each other, and they're your support system, your support group, the people who you can always go to, you know, they love you unconditionally, they always got your back, they always root for you, they're always by your side, and they're truly your best friends. You know, family can mean also, you know, maybe also including your uncles, you know, your aunts, cousins, second cousins, you know, whatever, you know, other great grandparents, you know, you name it. But family in general, whether it be big or small, are probably the most thankful people that I'm thankful for the most. Is just, you know, it's hard to replace family. It really, really is, you know. And I'm not trying to get super sappy. I know, like, talking about family is kind of a, you know, can kind of be a sappy topic, you know, just at a default. But it truly is number one. It's number one. It'll always be my number one. And, you know, you accomplish so many things with your family and your family having your back, and it just reassures you that, hey, you know, I'm not alone. I've got a family. I've got a support system. I got people who love me. And it makes you want to not only do good, but even do better for them and even for yourself. You know, people always say, don't do it for anybody else, but do it for yourself. You know, but I also find that, you know, if you love your family that much, or if your family matters to you that much, then why not also do it for your family? Depending on what it is, you know. Something cool, something good. Yeah, why not do it for your family? You know, people go to college for their family, for their parents, you know, because, you know, maybe their parents never got the opportunity, or maybe something happened that derailed that, you know. and you're thankful for their support and their love, gratitude for you, and just being able to stick by your side and always having your back and being there for you in your time of need. I say thank you to my family. And I encourage you to say thank you to your family as well. Giving thanks to the family, whether it be, immediate family, extended family, both, whatever, Just be thankful for what you got. Some people don't really have families. They don't stay in touch with their families. Not everybody gets along. Some people just don't get along anymore. Some people do, some people don't. And if you find out you're the ones that you don't, and you all stick together, be thankful for that, because not a lot of people have that. It's a tragedy. It's a shame. I wish it wasn't that way, but sometimes it is. I just want to give thanks to my family, extended family, all the people out there that I love and cherish. If you're listening, I thank you. I truly thank you for everything that you guys have been involved in my life. And say thanks to your families too. Don't forget them. Actually say, I'm thankful for you and what you do. I feel like a lot of people nowadays don't really do that. They just kind of put it in like the blanket statement of Happy Thanksgiving. Just tell them that I am thankful for you at the dinner table, wherever you are. First thing in the morning, call them if you're not going to see them, or you're super busy. Maybe travel's a kind of a hassle at the moment, and maybe you're not going to make it to dinner or something like that. Give your family a shout out. Call your mom, call your dad. Let them know that you matter to them and you are thankful for them and what they do for you and your siblings or whoever else in your family, and how they make your family and your life better. Because that's what really matters. That's number one. Number one is always family. We are a species of family, of families and communities, and that's what we thrive on. We are a social being that to our existence and our sanity, family and community is needed. And what a better way to show that you care about your family than dedicating a holiday to it, where you gather around the table and eat delicious food with your family. Let's not forget the true meaning of Thanksgiving is family. Not to quote the great Dominic Toretto in Fast and Furious, but it's all about family. La familia. It's all about that. I almost kind of want to watch Fast and Furious now, because, as cheesy and as stupid as those movies have gotten, the family aspect is one that is pretty much unbreakable. And if you think about it, if you really do think about it, a lot of good movies, a lot of good stories, TV shows are all family-centric, or at least somewhat family theme or vibes of a family. And it's like, why is it always like that? Why? It's because we all come from family. We all have families. It's the most related thing that you could make, like in a movie or a TV show or a book or whatever. Family is so relatable, and it's so, it's just the best thing. And it shows in those silly Fast movies and other movies in, before that and even after that. It's just the number one thing. And that's part of the 3 F's, as I've stated before, of Thanksgiving. Family is number one, of course. Number 2 on the 3 F's is food, obviously. Thanksgiving isn't only about family, but what a better mechanism to bring family members together than food. If you think about it, it's also another necessity of humanity, not just family, community, brotherhood, sisterhood, be the togetherness. It's not just that keeps us together. Food is also the number one mechanism, I think, of bringing families together. I mean, we all need it. We all love it. We have to eat in order to survive. And why not eat some delicious ass food on Thanksgiving? Now, of course, if you know me, I'm a little bit on the bigger side. I'm a big guy. I wouldn't say that I'm fat, but I think I might be fat. But going on, food is the number 2F of Thanksgiving. 100% sure. And I think that Thanksgiving food is some of the most elite tier food in all of food creation, consumption. It's some of the best food on the planet. It's Thanksgiving food. You know, turkey, ham, mashed potatoes, stuffing, macaroni and cheese, macaroni salad, yams, pies, green bean casserole, vegetables. I mean, gravy. Come on, lay it on me. There is, if you want a definition of comfort food, you could probably say like biscuits and gravy, or a country fried steak, or lasagna, or chicken parmesan. How about this? Thanksgiving food has got to be the ultimate comfort food of all time. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm one of the biggest turkey lovers of all time. I think that the turkey is an elite bird of consumption. Like, when you go to the deli, or when you go to Subway, what do you think is the most required cold cut meat to put in a sandwich? It's probably going to be turkey if you think about it. Turkey is simple, it's light, and it's delicious. And that transitions into a freshly cooked bird on a Thanksgiving lunch, breakfast, dinner, whatever time you eat. It always is so good. Delicious. Now, people have been coming for turkey's throat in this new century, in this new age. People are waking up, as they say, and voicing their trash opinion that turkey is trash. And I'm absolutely disgusted on that take. Those people probably have never had a decent bird in their life. And you're probably wondering, like, what they say is it's dry. It doesn't have that much flavor. It's just not very good. I don't like the white meat. I prefer the dark meat, and there's not that much of it. Well, first of all, you need to cook the bird to perfection. Now, the bird itself is hard to cook, and it's hard to... The dryness is definitely a criticism that is valid. Cooking a turkey is very hard. It's a very gigantic bird. You got to make sure you cook the entire thing without, drying it out, which is a very tough task. Back in the day, my family used to use turkey roasters when we would go to my grandmother's house, and that would cook it. And I always loved it. I always thought it was really good and really, really tasty turkey. And then, of course, we also had ovens, too, which is, kind of did it pretty much the same way. But it always took a little too long. And not that that was a bad thing. I mean, I was perfectly fine with that. Whatever, be cool. If it takes a little bit longer, I'm okay with that. But, over the years and over those times of cooking turkey, it does come out a little, just a tad dry, But lately, my family has made the conversion to deep frying their turkeys, deep frying their birds in a deep fryer. And I was very skeptical about that. I was very scared because, I've seen the videos of deep frying turkey mishaps and just it going bad, going sideways, and really um, being a disaster, lack of a better word. But those have always been through like, gas powered fryers or propane powered fryers, and luckily mine is electric, so I don't have to really worry about fire catching. Maybe spillage, as long as you put it in slowly enough, it should be fine. But nonetheless, it's still a different process, and it's still, in my opinion, the best way to cook a turkey is to deep fry it. For some reason, it cooks it, I think, more evenly. It cooks it better, and it cooks it a lot faster. And it's also not as dry. I think it's because it's literally soaking in oil, the entire thing. That way, it just doesn't really dry out. And it just bakes in those flavors in the grease and the oil. And you just got a delicious bird that I think is unmatched. I'll be honest. Like, my mom has really nailed down the technique to make a perfect, in my opinion, deep fried turkey. I don't know if you guys have tried it. I don't know if you want to try it. I suggest you do. If you have a problem with the dryness of turkey, I suggest you deep fry it. Try deep frying that bird. I think you'll thank me in the process. I think it's better tasting. It's definitely faster, and it definitely cuts down the dryness in my experience and in my opinion. So if you're a turkey hater, and there's a lot of you out there, I would suggest trying to deep fry the turkey and do it, thoroughly, and to what the recipe says. Look up a recipe on how to deep fry a turkey. It shouldn't lead you astray. It should be pretty simple, and then just follow the instructions, and I guarantee you, man, you're going to get a pretty decent tasting, moist turkey, in my opinion. I'm also a big fan of ham. I don't love it as much as other people do. I'm definitely not like ham over turkey guy. I'm definitely a turkey over ham guy, but I do enjoy a good ham. I'm not a ham hater. I think that ham is essential on the Thanksgiving plate. I think that it brings out the color of the plate. It brings out the life of the food. It's like another. It's another. I mean, rarely when you eat food in servings of plates, it's usually one protein and the rest carbs and vegetables, right? But in Thanksgiving, we have two proteins as like the main course, ham and the turkey. And depending if you are going crazy, maybe a turducken, maybe which is, if you don't know, a turkey, chicken, and duck hybrid, which I've had. Pretty good, very filling, but pretty good. So yeah, ham is not overpowering turkey for me, or even like, jumping ahead of the scores, but it's definitely a good color piece for the plate. Definitely has to be on the plate for me to say and to think, oh, I'm in Thanksgiving mode. Oh, this is a Thanksgiving plate, So ham is delicious. I enjoy the glaze on the ham. I think it also brings out a little bit of the sweet side, because ham is a very salty meat. Therefore, the glaze balances the salt and the sweet to make it just, perfect in my opinion. The sides, though, I think Thanksgiving sides should be. I mean, there's a reason that we have mashed potatoes being served at KFC on the daily. It's one of the most elite sides in America that you could ever have with it. I mean, you could have mashed potatoes with turkey, ham, chicken, beef, pork, anything. And mashed potatoes would make that meal so much better, because it is the ultimate carb side. It is a starchy, carby side. It is the best. If you make a good mashed potatoes that is seasoned and prepped and got good potatoes, and it's just, perfect, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. You really can't. It's always filling. It's always delicious. It's, depending on if you like them thicker or creamier to your taste, it's just always a bomb side that never seems to fail on any plate, I would say. I mean, anytime you have mashed potatoes, it's very simple to make too. it just complements every dish out there, and especially Thanksgiving. It's just like it's like bread and butter. Turkey and mashed potatoes. It's just it goes hand in hand. And obviously, you gotta have gravy, right? I mean, back when I was a kid, I was very anti gravy. I was like super like gravy is gross. Why would you put that on the perfect mashed potatoes? But then I wised up and I grew up and I put gravy on my potatoes, and essentially that evolved into everything on the plate too. And then it's just like this makes everything better. Gravy is amazing. It just makes the plate have more flavor. It complements the turkey, the ham, the potatoes. Everything on that plate is enhanced flavor-wise by gravy. Now, whether you're a dark gravy fan or a light gravy fan, it doesn't matter. Any gravy will bring out the life and the flavor of that plate. Now, I think in terms of Thanksgiving, my family likes to keep it in-house. So, like, if we're going to have a beef dish, we'll have beef gravy. If we have a turkey dish, obviously turkey gravy, just to complement the protein. But honestly, I could do any gravy. Any gravy, and I would be happy about that. There's no discrimination here when it comes to gravy. I love them all. I truly love them all. I even love white gravy on like a country fried steak. I love all gravy. You gravy haters out there, you probably never really, tried it on everything on that plate. Give it a shot. Maybe you prefer it on your turkey over the potatoes. You never know. Just give it a shot. Number 2 side, it's got to be stuffing. I mean, as much as I love stuffing, and I think that stuffing is so good that it probably should be, moved up to just be a dish or a side that you can have with like almost any other meal besides Thanksgiving. I really think that. I mean, I think it's definitely like earned its its regularly scheduled plate appearance, not just on Thanksgiving, but maybe Christmas, maybe Easter, maybe even the 4th of July. It's got to have more plate appearances than just the Thanksgiving plate, in my opinion. I mean, it's just that good. It's delicious. It's just cooked bread and then some seasonings and some veggies. It's super good. And of course, salt and stuff. But if you were ever a kid in Thanksgiving and you had the dinner rolls, sitting there and like you broke one open and you're going to eat it, but you're like, hold on, what if I just make a sandwich out of the turkey, the ham, the potatoes, and the stuffing and put some gravy on that? Oh my God, man. I mean, flavors galore. And just like the absolute one-of-a-kind sandwich that you really can only get at Thanksgiving. And it's just perfect. The stuffing really just brings out that, that extra fillingness to it. And that extra, ooh, I'm feeling warm chow in the belly right now with some stuffing. Oh my God. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. You can't go wrong. As of the vegetables, because you got to eat your veggies, you got to stay healthy. I know that the Thanksgiving plates are usually carbs and meat, but you got to get some veggies in there, right? Some good old green beans, maybe a little bit of green bean casserole. Those are always delicious. You got to keep the greens in there too, man. You can't just be eating all that stuff. You're going to get plugged up. Put some veggies in there. But the veggies really just, kind of make it seem like, some healthy food, along with all this very fatty, proteiny, starchy, filling food. Get some veggies in there. It makes it all the better. I really, really do think that you need that. You need a side of greens, whether that be green beans or something else, maybe a salad, maybe some asparagus, something like that. Mix it up. Just get a green in there. I think that's essential when you look at a Thanksgiving plate. You got to get the turkey, all that stuff, and then a little bit of green in there. Whether that be, like I said, salad, green beans, or asparagus, or something else. You got to get a veggie in there. Because I don't think that you can get like a side of carrots, Carrots don't really look all that great on the plate if we're talking Thanksgiving. The green from the the green beans, I think, is just more fitting and makes the plate more complete. And of course, you can also say, like, well, what about cranberry sauce? Now, I'm not a big fan of the cranberry sauce, but being the person that I am and being the big fat guy that I am, I have just, sometimes Googled plates of Thanksgiving plates, just because I'm ready to eat and stuff like that. And I always love how the cranberry sauce just pops on that plate. And it just makes it seem more holiday, more festive. Even though I'm not a big fan of it, I still love seeing it on the plate, on people's plates. It's like, oh, this is Thanksgiving. This is families, holidays, cold weather. Oh, it just makes my heart swell. And it makes me so happy. Even though, like I said, I don't like it and I don't eat it. It's pleasing to look at. It makes me feel warm and toasty and at home. And it's just like, oh my God, this is perfect. I love everything about this. This makes me happy. I am thankful for the food that we are able to consume on that day, because we don't get this type of food every week, every day of the year. This comes like maybe once a year, and if your family decides, you know what, let's have a turkey, but it rarely comes. It's not a really, popular thing to happen on just a week-to-week basis. So, in closing statements, I am so thankful for food and that we are able to actually consume all this amazing food with our families and just, get a good meal. You know how hard it is for some people to put food on their tables? You know how many people in like kitchens and shelters, that you donate to, or like the Goodwill and all that stuff, they also cook food for the people who don't have as fortunate of a situation as you do. And that food, that mechanism has the ability to bring people together and to give thanks for what they have at that moment. Food is a magical, magical thing that we have that we sometimes can take for granted for, and we should not. We should be thankful for what we have right now and how we are able to get our food and make our Thanksgiving feast. I think that that's very important, to all the people that work out there to bring the food to the tables or to the stores and eventually to the tables that we consume and give thanks for. We thank you for blessing us with this delicious food, especially the food that is served on Thanksgiving, especially that and even more. Desserts as well, pies, pastries, pumpkin pie, apple pie. I mean, pumpkin pie is just another staple of Thanksgiving. If you look up any Thanksgiving meal in like a Google image or like a movie, video, or TV show, whatever, pumpkin pie is usually like the number 3 thing that's got to be on the table besides like a ham and turkey, if you think about it. It's always there. It's always present. It's just, it's orange. It's the color of fall. It's made out of pumpkins. It always looks so good. Even though I'm not a big fan of it, it always looks better than it tastes. Some people love it. I'm just not one of those people. I know people in my family that love pumpkin pie. I'm just more of an apple pie guy. If you give me a slice of apple pie, oh my God. Some really delicious pie, like from McDonald's, oh my God. It's over. Apple pie is just my piece of my pie. It is my pie, and people like pumpkin more. I understand that, but gotta have an apple pie there. Gotta have an apple pie. And then the final F, the 3 Fs I'm thankful for the most on Thanksgiving. There's other things that I'm gonna talk about too, but the number 3 F is of course football. Now, I used to put football over family and food when I was younger. I've changed on that. Just by getting older and getting a little bit wiser and more mature with things, I put it as my number 3. Now, my love for football has not changed. I still love football. I love the NFL. I love NFL Sundays, and I love football on Thanksgiving. However, it is my number 3. Again, no love has been lost. It's just a maturity thing, There's some things that are bigger than football. Obviously, family and food are bigger than football. But make no mistake, man. When you put on football on Thanksgiving and you're just sitting there chilling, watching football, and then smelling the Thanksgiving feast being prepared, and just being able to soak up everything that's fall, the cold weather, the leaves changing, the food, and football. I mean, it's like the icing on the cake for me. It is like the ultimate, you know, cherry on top, and it's just beautiful to watch, to consume. You know, you hear the announcers' voices, how warm they make you feel, and the grittiness of football, and the cold weather of the stadium that they're playing in, and the field that they're on, and it makes everything so much more festive and better. And especially when it's cold too, like when you're seeing like a football game being played in the cold on Thanksgiving. Oh my God, it's just amazing. And then to see who's playing, usually we got some good matchups. Like this week, we got the Bills and the Lions. Then we got the Cowboys and the Giants and the Patriots and the Vikings. I mean, it's this is going to be an awesome slate this Thanksgiving. I just can't wait to see. I mean, I'm incredibly excited and just ready to see this. And I, speaking of football, I haven't really talked a whole lot about the season this year. I've kind of just been not avoiding it, but just like not really talking, because there hasn't been a whole lot of crazy things that have happened in this season. I mean, we got the Vikings, who are essentially, a good team, lost to a really, really good team in the Cowboys. If you think about it, the Cowboys have, their record could be a lot better, but in terms of talent on the ball and off the ball, I mean, they just killed the Vikings last week. I mean, it was crazy. And then the drama in New York with the Jets, essentially Zach Wilson not taking any accountability of his shitty performance against the Patriots. Saying, do you feel like, the reporter asking, do you feel that you let your defense down? And he just replies, no. And then at the point of this recording, he has been benched by their head coach. I mean, like, talk about like a move that I haven't seen made by a quarterback. Like for him to come out that strong and just say, no, that I did not let my team down, is pretty damn crazy to happen in the NFL. Nobody has ever done that, like to my knowledge, the way that he does, and immediately get benched the next week. I mean, it's just crazy. How does that happen? What's his thought process in that? Like, if you think about it, Zach Wilson has probably been the worst quarterback that came out of that 2021 draft. If you think about it, between him, Trevor Lawrence, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, I mean, you got to probably say that he's probably the worst one. He might be like not just a bust, but just bad. I know he was pick number 2, but I feel like he never really was like a really high talked about quarterback back in the day, back in last year's draft. I never felt that he was going to be like some type of elite player, if I'm being honest. Trevor Lawrence, yeah, I saw that. I mean, he is kind of busting. He's not very good. Justin Fields was also a very high-rated quarterback who's been playing better. The team is just not winning. But Zach Wilson, in my eyes, has never really made any improvements on his game. He's always kind of played it safe. He doesn't really throw a whole lot. He can't really make that many throws. He's not very accurate. And he just never really blows up the stat sheet, unlike these other quarterbacks have been able to do. Well, not just Fields, really, but like Trevor Lawrence has had the opportunities to do that. But I think that Zach Wilson's quarterback play has never really gotten any better, in my opinion, which is crazy to me. And that's just the beauty of the NFL itself, is that we're finally getting to see like the drama and the storylines develop between all the teams right now, right? The Eagles are like 9-1 at the moment. Vikings are 8-2. And you would all probably thought that the Vikings, the way they've been looking, they would have been like one of the most unstoppable teams, but they ran into a brick wall with the Cowboys, who have been playing a lot better lately. And, Micah Parsons just being Micah Parsons. I mean, he's like one of the best defensive players I've ever seen at such a young age. For him to be wrecking offensive lines at that age, that young, very impressive. Very, 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 very fun to see. And then we've also seen the meltdown that has been the Rams. I mean, if you think about it, um, with Matthew Stafford getting a concussion again last week, and then the week before he also had a concussion, I wouldn't be surprised if he just stayed out the remainder of the season. I mean, we're like 3-7, probably not going to be a threat to the rest of the NFC West or even anybody else in the league. I could definitely see them shutting down Matthew Stafford for the year and not being active because of this concussion thing. I mean, it's one to get a concussion and be out for a week and then, hopefully being able to play out the rest of the season without a concussion. But going out with a concussion, sitting out a week, and then coming back to play and then getting another concussion, that to me is just terrifying. Now, I know that, they know what they signed up for. The NFL is a rough sport. It's very, very dangerous. But the fact that my boy's getting 2 concussions week to week, back to back, I would be pretty scared. I mean, like, not just because of, immediate effects, but maybe long-term effects. I mean, I just feel like that's like, whoa, that's kind of like, this should not be happening. You shouldn't be going through that much brain trauma back to back like that on such short notice. It's crazy. That's always been a thing of like, especially like this year, a huge talking point has been concussions and player safety, which, we talked about it on the show with Tua Tagovailoa and the way that he was able to get, essentially, I mean, when he wobbled on that game off the field, straight up like stumbled and tripped over himself, like that was bizarre. And then it was like, no, it was, they said that it was his back, and he said it was his back as well. It's like, I don't know about that. And then the next week after that, goes in the defensive mode with his, hands in his face all crunched up and everything. It's like, whoa, what's going on? Like, this is not good to see. And it just, builds off of that. It's like the conversation just is going. It's like player safety's got to be really super freaking, important, but also you got to play the game. You can't like, players are going to play the game the way that they want to play the game, which is violent, very, very violent. And I mean, like, it's not like we want it. It doesn't help the viewer either, because you see like so many times, like when teams kind of play soft, the audience and the fans are like, "What the fuck is this bullshit?" Or why they're playing like babies, and then it's like you get one bad hit, and it's like, "Oh shit, this is bad." It's a very, very, very hard thing to manage while watching the NFL and football in general. It's just. We want to see some tackles, some hits, and some crazy plays, but we also want to keep these motherfuckers safe as possible. And I think I just think that it's kind of counterintuitive to play incredible tackling football and to be 100% safe. It's like pretty much impossible. It's like, how do we even do that? How does that even happen? It's like almost like, it's like, do we just design an entire new safety system? Do we just design an entire new uniform? Do we get rid of pads? Like, what do we do here? You know what? I feel like because NFL players are like built like tanks, with the padding and all that, the helmets, I feel like it makes them think that they could go and lead with their helmets and all that and lead with their head more than they should. I mean, yeah, you're wearing a helmet with padding and cushion, but your neck isn't supported really. Your neck is not like, braced up so you can like go head on and hit people head on. Like, it's not going to happen. I mean, it's like you got a much more weight on your head that if you get like jerked around, oof, that can be bad too. I just feel like if you get rid of the helmets, you possibly get rid of more concussions, because not many players would probably want to lead with their heads and lead for those, those type of hits because they're not wearing a helmet. You would probably tackle more upward that they're trying to teach and trying to coach, But obviously that's not where the game is. That's not where the league is. We have helmets and padding and all that. So I just feel like that the fact that the pads and the helmets are there kind of almost makes players feel more invincible than they are. And it makes them want to tackle in a more violent way than they should. And then that obviously leads to accidents and injuries. And then, more concussions. It's like, oh shit, what do we do here, But nonetheless, I am so thankful for having football. As rough as it can be, we need to make it as safe as possible, of course. But it's just a staple of American Thanksgiving. Having that on in the background, or just, watching it while you're sitting on the couch during Thanksgiving, there's like nothing better. There's like really nothing better. It just completes the entire experience of Thanksgiving. And it's one tradition that I hope that never ever leaves our tradition. Just leaves, I just want to keep it forever. And I think that it will continue forever. As long as we play football, as long as we have teams, as long as the people want to play football, we will have that. Now, as much as I love football, what's actually new about this Thanksgiving is that we also have the World Cup going on, which is happening right now, which began on Sunday, last Sunday. It actually began. Because, you're probably asking, why are we having the World Cup in November/December this year? Well, it's because we are playing it in Qatar, where it's a desert and it's hot there. And this is like their winter season, which is their less hotter period of the year. So, figures, well, probably shouldn't have it in summer because it'll be like 120 degrees every day. So why don't we just have it when it's like maybe 20 degrees lower, not as hot. I mean, it kind of makes sense, but it also at the same time, it's like, why in Qatar? Like, it's a summer event, right? People are less busy in the summer. People can get more time off in the summer, go on vacation and shit, take a week off. I mean, November, December, yeah, you got the holidays there, but like, I mean, people are also working like in between those. Like, you can't really just take a vacation, I mean, that's just what I think. I mean, I don't know. Nonetheless, though, it is in Qatar. And there's been a lot of things coming out of Qatar about this World Cup and about the experience of this World Cup. If you didn't know, I think like maybe hours before the first match was played, the Qatari government banned the sale of alcohol in the World Cup stadiums. So that fucked over Budweiser, who was going to be the big sponsor of the beer at the World Cup. And I just remember like the prices before they banned it, I think it was going to be like $92 for like a pint of beer at the World Cup. Like, oh my God, people are just going to be shelling out money because, I mean, as expensive as it is, I think you're still going to drink beer there, Beer is such an essential part of watching soccer. I mean, in Europe, all those fuckers are drunk watching soccer. Like, that's just a part of the culture there. Like, you take that out, I mean, you get like at least 50% of the excitement and the passion is got to be gone, right? Because you're just not drinking. You're not having fun. You're not letting loose. You're not getting wild about your country or your team or whatever. It's crazy. And I heard, like, I follow this reporter who is reporting and being like a sideline reporter for the games of the World Cup. And she said that they have an entrance for women at the stadiums. Like, men can enter in one entrance and women in another entrance, which is like, whoa, I forgot. The women are treated a lot differently over there than they are in the U.S. I mean, I kind of just remember like, oh shit, yeah, this is not the United States. Like, this is a different country with different customs that we are not used to, that are now on public display because people are at the World Cup. So that's kind of been, swirling around out there. It's kind of been making its runs and making headlines. Not really headlines, but, being known out there that this is what's going on at the World Cup. You saw like videos and pictures of like where the teams are staying in these little like shacks or whatever. It kind of reminds me of the Beijing Olympics last year. I think it was last year. Or was it like this year? Might have been this year. I can't remember. Oh, it was this year. The Beijing Olympics this year, with the way that they were, housing and stuff like that for the Olympics. It's like, maybe we shouldn't have the Olympics in these type of countries where there's problems going on. And, maybe not the best places to host these global sporting events where you're supposed to go and have fun and, passion and cheer on for your country. And, it's sports. and countries that are, obviously politically like divided and shit. And I don't want to get too much into the politics side of it, but it doesn't seem like the best countries to host these events. Aside of that, the games have been, pretty cool. The U.S. drew against Wales in 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 uh, um in the World Cup. Game 1-1 draw. The U.S. played pretty good in the first half. I'll have to be honest. Wasn't able to watch the entire game, but I saw like the first 20 minutes and like the highlights after that. And from what I saw, I mean, we looked like we were pretty good. Like we were aggressive, we were on the ball, creating chances, really putting Wales, I think, on the defensive side, and just playing pretty good soccer. And I was like, whoa, this is good. This is fun to see because I've been watching the U.S. men's national team forever. I've been a big fan ever since I got into soccer. In like 2010. Just watching them, cheering them on, and all that stuff, and just being able to root for the United States. Been a big fan. I've been watching from Landon Donovan, Clint Dempsey, Tim Howard, all the way to the Christian Pulisic and all these guys now. It's just been fun to watch and fun to consume. And now that I feel like that we have a team that has so much talent, and maybe not the best coach to lead that talent or to plan or plot a tactical plan for that talent. I don't know. I mean, we'll soon find out. But I thought that we played the first half pretty well against Wales, and we kind of fell apart. We kind of changed up the way that, from the highlights that I saw, we changed up our approach. We looked kind of tired, didn't have that many chances, gave up some stupid fouls, too many yellow cards in my opinion, and just kind of let it slip away. I mean, like, once we scored, I wasn't able to watch, but I was able to keep updates. I was like, yes, we scored. Hell yeah, let's go. And then they got a penalty from a stupid foul in the box, obviously, and then Gareth Bale, of course, scores that, automatically, and then just ended up being a tie. It's like, okay, that's not totally bad. I mean, I would have preferred that win. We did have a win for like 80 minutes. We were beating them for 80 minutes, and then we just blew it at the end. Had some chances at the end to win it, just didn't happen. And then obviously we were playing in a group with Iran and England that already played, and England just slapped Iran 6-2. It's like, holy shit, we're gonna play them right now. Our next match is against England, which of course, if you're from America, you know that the rivalry between the United States and England is rooted back. I don't have to tell you when, Revolutionary War. But it's just like, it's going to be a big match. Last time we played in a World Cup match, we tied 1-1, which of course it's not terrible, but we definitely wanted to win. And I think that with this team that we have in the United States, we actually probably have a pretty decent chance to win this game. Or at least hold on for a tie. Even though I don't want a tie at all, we have a chance to actually put them on their heels and do something about that. I feel like that we have a good enough team and a confident enough team to get that done. I feel like we do. I'm not going to be able to watch that game either, which sucks. Goddamn scheduling of these games. But, I'm going to be checking the updates as it's going on. I think I'm going to be able to watch like maybe 20 or 15 minutes before I got to dip out and shit. I just hope we win, man. I hope we can shock the world. Like, we had an opportunity against Wales. We changed up our game plan and kind of let it slip through our fingers. But I feel like if we learn from those mistakes, and if the boys are hungry enough, they'll fucking give it all we got and try to beat those redcoats. I mean, it's got to happen. We have to do it. Wouldn't it be awesome for us to win on Black Friday? It would be amazing. It would be like a new Black Friday would have like a new meaning in sports history. The day we beat England in the World Cup, not like to win it, but in a group stage. It'd be amazing if we were able to do that. Beating England on Black Friday would be sick. Oh my god, we can call it like something cool, like I don't know, just like something cool. That'd be so cool. Like the U.S. beat England on Black Friday. I mean, God, it'd be so cool. I mean, I feel like, as much as America doesn't really like soccer, when the World Cup comes around and we're in it and we're competitive, it brings out something in you. It really, really does. Even so, more than like the Olympics or like the anything else like that. I feel like the World Cup, I guess, for some reason just brings out the sportsmanship, the patriotism, and the passion within the American, sports fans, and even just general people. When they hear about it, they turn on the TV and they ended up watching it, and they're like, "Oh, let's go! Come on, let's go!" I think it's even bigger than the Olympics, in my opinion. It's just like got that that ability to really captivate you. And now that I think about it, it's kind of lit to have it go on during the holidays. People are more together now. They're all, having family over. I feel like this England versus United States game is going to have a lot of viewership because it's the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday. If you're not shopping, you're probably going to be with your family. What's going to be the one sporting event that's going to be on is that USA versus England game. That's going to be, this game might pop off. This game might get people tweeting and talking about it, and getting the excitement going because football will be done. Friday, won't be that many major sports, but the game. So, I mean, this is gonna shape up pretty nicely, I think. Too bad I can't watch it live. Jesus Christ. But it should be good. It should be awesome. Speaking of tweeting, though, is everybody okay? Is everybody still here? I think we are. I think we're all there. If you're not familiar what's going on, we were all supposed to be gone from Twitter last week, I think. There was the now sought as controversial CEO of Twitter, Elon Musk, essentially gave the employees like an ultimatum. If you don't come in, or if you don't put in the work, like double the work to keep Twitter up, then it's just going to get shut down and it's going to be gone. And I didn't really hear about this until like the day it was supposed to shut down or the mere hours before the shutdown. So when I was browsing Twitter, I was like, people were tweeting, "Goodbye Twitter, see you later Twitter, Twitter is dead, rip Twitter." Now we're at Thanksgiving, right? Nearly a week has passed. Still here. We're still there. I mean, did anybody think that was actually going to happen? Think about that. No. You should not have thought that was going to happen. Although, it would have been pretty fucking awesome if it happened. Could you imagine? Elon Musk spends like, what, $42 billion to purchase Twitter just to kill it. Could you imagine that? Now, would that be cool or would that be dumb? I'm in the minority because I know how much Twitter means to some people. For some people, it means a little bit too much to their lives. People were like actually legit sad that Twitter might have seen its final hours on people's phones. That their accounts, their tweets were going to be gone forever. And maybe start from scratch, But I was actually kind of excited about that, and I'll tell you why. I was reading this thing and seeing what people were saying and how, essentially it's going to go down because no one's working. The servers are going to have to shut down. And nobody wants to work for the guy. They're all quitting. They're being fired. How's this thing going to work? And I was just saying like, okay, see you, Twitter. I didn't. I thought about saying like goodbye Twitter or tweeting goodbye Twitter or tweeting see you later Twitter or bye Twitter, or just even saying like bye. Like, I kind of wanted to just put bye for that to be my final tweet, but I never did it. And thank God I didn't because it never shut down. And I think that people were legit sobbing and crying and actually sad that Twitter was going to disappear. I think that it would have been better for humanity if it actually did just go away. I think Elon Musk knows that too, even though he still bought it. But it would have been awesome for him to buy it just to kill it, just to destroy it. Because is Twitter really all that good? Is it good for you? Like, think about this. Are you on Twitter that much during the day that it's like part of your identity, part of your character, part of your, who you are? And if it is, why is that? Did you just become addicted Is it new to you, or is it like you've like got this like second life on Twitter where you're like a completely different person and you have a bunch of followers, a big following, and you're just like, oh, I can't let this go away from me because people like what I tweet. Could be both, could be all that. Could be a combination of all that stuff. And I think that that's just not good for humanity and for people themselves. And this goes back to kind of like, people being, humans being very dependent on a community and a family. And for some people, you can get that feeling on Twitter. People liking your tweets, people retweeting your stuff, getting behind what you have to say, agreeing with you, backing you up, and generally thinking that you tweet good stuff and that they will be behind you. I don't know if that feeling of people having your back and supporting you on Twitter is even close to as good as people doing it in person. And in fact, could kind of damage your perception of how the real world is. Like, people on Twitter are not how they are in real life. I mean, that's just a fact. You probably will never see the person's face. Like the Swaggy D on Twitter is probably some, I don't know, bot or someone's burner account or someone's like meme account that they don't even care about. That they're on there just to start shit or to make people mad and troll you, and it's just like it's none of that's really real. None of that's like should be a sign of satisfaction when Swaggy D likes your tweet or Swaggy D retweets your shit or quote tweets it, whatever. It's just not real, gratification in my eyes, or not real interaction. It's just not real to me. Even though people like to say that it is real, that it does happen, it just doesn't have the same effect as actually meeting someone and talking to them and getting behind their back and agreeing with them in person. I mean, people are just like, we're so like crazy and sobbing and getting sad that it might actually go away, and I'm just like, I don't care. I just use it to promote my podcast. That's really all I use social media for nowadays. I don't find the satisfaction of tweeting something and getting likes, really. I mean, if I think it's clever, if I think it's in the moment, I might tweet something. I might. And if I get likes or if I get interaction, cool, whatever. Then I get likes and I get interaction. Since I've been tweeting about my podcast and promoting it, I do get emails sometimes that this many people, X amount of people have seen your tweet or have interacted with your tweet. And that's kind of like not flattering, but kind of scary, because it's like, holy shit, more people than I kind of know are like interacting with this. Like, what do I do? It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing for human beings to have that many eyes on you, that many other faces, also people that you can't see or you probably have never seen, that have seen what you've done, that have seen what you tweeted and have interacted with what you've tweeted. It's a weird feeling. It's like a popular feeling, but it's also like a feeling like I should not be getting this much interaction because I'm just one man. I'm just one person. Like, no way should I be getting this much interaction from people. It's just not natural. If you think about it, no one really likes that. I mean, it's not a natural feel for you to thrive in with that many eyes on you. It's just a weird feeling. As much as people say that they love it and they thrive off of it, yeah, that might be true. But it definitely doesn't, it takes a while for you to get used to that. You kind of have to be numb to it for you to do anything while that's happening to you. I mean, that's just my opinion, but like the anxiety just kind of builds with that. When people see what you put out there, it's natural for you to react that way, because what you're thinking of what people think of you and how they pursue you, or not pursue you, but how they view you and how they think that you are. It's just weird. I don't know how to explain it, but like when I get those emails, it's like, oh shit, this many people. Sometimes it's more than the other posts. It's like, uh-oh, what have I done now? Have I made people angry? Did people resonate with something that I said? Like, what did I do? It's just like, it's a weird feeling. It's very, very unnatural. And for it to happen and you not see these people, you just see like the number. It's just a number. This many people interacted with this tweet or saw your tweet. It's like, holy shit. It's even more scary because you don't know what those people are or what they look like or what they think of you or where they are from or, because your tweet can be seen by so many different people. Like I've gotten tweets liked by like tweeting about like a sport or an athlete or a team, and you don't even have to hashtag. You just like put the team's name in the tweet. And then if people search that, that team or whatever, they'll see it, they'll like it. It's like I've gotten like a lot of tweets that are liked by people I don't even follow. And it's just so weird. Whenever I tweet movie reviews, I hashtag the movie or whatever, I get likes by people that I don't even know. It's just weird. It's a weird feeling. It's not natural. At least in my opinion, it's not. It's just weird. Makes me a little bit uncomfortable too. It's like, should I be doing this? Like, I'm not like trying to like search for approval by people. So it's like, well, I don't need that. I don't know. I just never really been a big social media guy to begin with. I was there from like essentially the beginning of Facebook. Not really the beginning, but like the middle craze of Facebook. I joined Twitter in 2011, and Instagram like when I graduated high school, which was like in 2012. So like I got my Instagram then. So I've been on these networks for quite some time. Already more than 10 years for all three. So I don't know. I feel like I've seen it firsthand, and I've seen how it's happened throughout the years and how it makes people, act and makes people think differently and do different things. It's just like, I don't know. We just probably don't need it. If he bought it just to kill it, that'd be fucking incredible. But that's going to be it today, people. That's going to be it for this episode. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. You can find all episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube at Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. Drops every Thursday. Happy Thanksgiving to you, your family, your loved ones, everybody out there that's watching. Remember to give thanks, share the love, eat some food, watch some football, and give thanks, and happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Again, thank you for listening and thank you for watching. I will see you guys next week.